When using a circular or a bed knitting machine, what it makes is called a stockinette stitch. So it's all purl stitches on one side and knit stitches on the other side. And because of that, what a stockinette stitch does is you will get curl on the sides and top and bottom. Now here's a blanket that I did. I have fringe at the bottom, so I'm not getting much curl on the bottom because of the fringe. It's holding it down. On this side, I have already blocked it. So you can see how there's no curl. This is 100% acrylic yarn, and I steam blocked it. Now look at the other side. I have curl because I have not blocked it yet. So let's look at this before I blocked it. I have curl on both sides. Now this particular blanket, I did stitch together the 3 panels before I blocked it. But if you're having problems stitching it together because of this curl, you can block each panel before you go to mattress stitch however you want to stitch it together, and it'll be a lot easier to work with. So that's my example of this knit top that I made. This example, I blocked my panels before I mattress stitched them together. So I'm going to show you how I blocked it and some things to look for, because depending on what yarn you use, whether it's acrylic or wool or natural fiber, you want to block that differently. When it comes to a natural fiber, usually you submerge, it's what's called a wet blocking, and you submerge it in water, and then you wring it out with a towel, and then you block it on your blocking pads. This one, I will talk about that when I show how I blocked this one. It was a more delicate wool blend, so I sprayed wet blocked it, and acrylic you want to steam block. So next I'll show you how I blocked these panels, and then I will show you how I mattress stitched them together, and you're going to see it eliminates a lot of that curl. And then especially once you stitch the 2 panels together, that curl does completely go away. Once you have all the panels you need, before you do any stitching of them together, the first thing you want to do is block them. So I'm using my blocking pads and combs. You can just use regular needles and cardboard if you do not have this. Because this was a more delicate cashmere wool, that I am going to just spray wet block it instead of submerge it. If you're using an acrylic yarn, you could steam block it, but if you use an iron, do not have it touch the fibers. It will melt them. You want to make sure you have a cotton barrier between the steam iron and your fabric so your fibers do not melt. And you do not want to press down with your iron, you just want to hover over it. So what blocking is going to do is give you a lot less curl. You're still going to have a little bit of curl, but much less than when you first take it off of your machine, and it's going to make it way easier to mattress stitch all of your panels together. So here's just a little sneak peek of what it looks like once you see the seam. You will have a little bit of seam where you go to mattress stitch. So there's my front, and now I'm going to mattress stitch up the back. And then remember, we also want to mattress stitch up the sides, but leaving a hole for our arms. So next I will show you how I mattress stitch the panels together. But here is how it looks like on the front once it's mattress stitched. Cute, right? To mattress stitch the panels together, I start from the bottom and work my way up. You're going to take 2 of the panels and we're going to line them up. We line up the first row of our project yarn. That's the yarn that's sandwiched in between. See how there's 1 row of green sandwiched in between the orange? That's our first row of our project yarn. So line those 2 up with both panels. Now using our darning needle and our long tail of our fabric yarn, we're going to use this row that's right here. That's our first V knit stitch. There's one other little row that's the end where it does a little bit different knit stitch. You don't want to use that one. You want to see how I curl it over to get to the V stitch. And we're going to pick up the piece of yarn that's in between the little V. So not this part here. If you use that, the mattress stitch won't look as good. You can still do it, but it just won't look quite right. But it's right here, the first actual knit stitch. And then you go in between the V and pick up the piece of yarn that's in between. So I'm picking up that piece of yarn that's in between the V stitch with my needle, and I go through, and we go back and forth going up this row on both sides to mattress stitch it together. Now this mattress stitching takes a little bit of practice, so you don't skip over to the wrong row. It can make it look twisted, or if you pick up the wrong side of the mattress stitch, if it doesn't look right, sometimes you're picking up not that piece of yarn in between the V stitch, you're picking up another piece of yarn. So this did take me some practice, and I've had to unmattress stitch, so remove all of my yarn and restitch up a few times to get it right. So if you don't succeed the first time, it is okay. Just take your time and to make sure you're staying in the same row on each side and just picking up that piece of yarn. And it's kind of hidden in there until you pull it up and then you see it come through where the V or the point comes together of the knit stitch. And so the way I have this is, you can see it's the purl side is facing me, and then I'm kind of curling over the edge to get to the knit side, which is the other side. And then I'm picking up the stitch. So I'll leave this in real time for a little bit, showing how to mattress stitch up. And this is what you're going to do on all sides of your panels for all the vertical stitches, you could say, to seam them all together. And if the knit stitch, the mattress stitch, is done correctly, it should almost look invisible. But because we are in panel mode, we do have a slight seam. So there is going to be a seam with panel mode no matter what you do. And so I'm just going every other side, picking up every other V-stitch. Now what I do after doing a few stitches, I will turn it over to check my seam. So here's what my seam has looked like so far. So far so good. That part looks good. Now let's flip it over to the right side. And here's what it should look like if your mattress stitch is done correctly. It should almost be invisible. If you see any twisting or curling or it's not looking quite right, undo your stitches and try again, because you're probably either going starting in one row and going over into another row. That's very easy to do. I have done it, and it kind of creates this twisted look. Or if it just doesn't look like knit stitches on the other side, you're probably not picking up the piece of yarn that's in between. At the point of the V-stitch, you're probably picking up another part of the V-stitch, so they're not coming together quite right. And again, it took me a few tries to get this right. I have a few of my other projects that I did before I made a sweater, and where I did fingerless gloves, and they are not stitched up properly. And it took me a while to figure out what I was doing wrong. And it was pretty much, I'll zoom in here, I was not picking up the correct area of the V-stitch. So I think this technique is important, and that's why I kind of slow this part down so you can see it. And then I do some few zoom ins for you as well, so you can see exactly where I'm going. And what makes it even more invisible is using the same color yarn as your project yarn. But even if you used a different color, it should pretty much disappear. So I'm now going to speed this up, and I'll meet you back after you have stitched up the front of your project, the back of your project, and also the two sides of your project. Just remember to leave an opening for your armholes. And just a little note on how I do that is I will mattress stitch up one side to my armhole, try it on to see if that seems to be about where I want it, and then I will match, but I don't tie it off. And then I'll mattress stitch up the other side and try it back on, and to see if it's even, because you might on one side need to mattress stitch up a little bit more, or you might need to remove some mattress stitches if it's too tight, to even them out before I knot down the yarn at the top and the bottom of my mattress stitch and then weave in the ends. So I hope that helps you, showing how blocking it can really make it a little bit easier to then mattress stitch your panels together. And here's kind of what it looks like after I have mattress stitched everything together with the panels for my knit top, because you will have a little bit of a seam when you do the mattress stitch on the inside of your garment, because you're putting two pieces together. And so here's how it looked. Once you have everything stitched together, it does completely eliminate that curl that you get on the sides. Now for the neck, I left the curl, and it makes a really nice edge on the neck and on the arms. Or you could do some type of knit stitch or crochet stitch like I did at the bottom. And when I did this, I did the spray wet blocking, and I think I needed to use a little bit more water. But since it was the first time I had done it, I was not quite sure how much I should use. Now I think I would do more on the front and back side to let it completely dry. spray it if it was more delicate yarn, and then I think it would eliminate even more curl, but it did enough where it made it much easier to work with, because when you saw when I went to Mattress stitch, I had a little bit of curl still, but it wasn't as bad. So I hope this video helped showing blocking your panels can really help eliminate that curl to make it easier to stitch them together. Thank you so much for the comment, and happy crafting, everyone.